I think the way they won that game by running the football, playing physical, defense was fantastic. And here goes the run game to start it here in the first quarter. That is going to be a touchdown for Jalen Wright. 82 yards on the board.
Here, man, we just look at the little split zone, man, they insert with the tight end. And like we talked about, that gear, once he's up and going, he's gone. Ain't nobody catching him.
Good Sunday morning, y'all. Tennessee beat UConn 59-3. Tennessee took care of business, kind of like I thought they would. My projection was Tennessee 49-10, and Tennessee actually won 59-3. So they won about quite more than what I projected them to. So good to see how Tennessee played. A lot of times this year, Tennessee's kind of played to the level of their competition, but not today. Tennessee come out, took care of business, played pretty good in all aspects, honestly. And I think the biggest thing I took from this game was how good Joe Milton played. And I know a lot of people say, well, it was UConn. Well, let me tell you, when he played against Austin Peay and some of the other inferior level teams, Joe Milton was still throwing behind people. He wasn't on target. He wasn't precise. Joe Milton very rarely made a bad throw in this game. And I really think what's helped Joe Milton is the fact that they've opened up the ability for him to run more design runs. It's getting him involved more in the game. And I think that's helping him a lot, especially with his confidence, rolling him out of the pocket. But very, very impressed with Joe Milton. This is the third game, in my opinion, that he's played really good football in a row. So I hope the good Joe Milton is here to stay. And Missouri's next, and we're going to need that good Joe Milton. But anyway, let's look at this box score. Let's look at these stats, and let's kind of see how this game broke down and how it played out. So like I said before, Tennessee won 59-3 over a UConn team that was 1-7 coming in this game, but they played a lot of tough games. They played Boston College 21-14. Boston College was, I think Boston College is 6-3 right now. They're a decent ACC school. So UConn is not a horrible team. They're all right. So to be able to beat a team 59-3 that literally almost beat Boston College the week before shows you where this team is going, and I believe Tennessee is headed in the right direction. So let's look at the stats here. UConn total as far as total yards is concerned, UConn had 256 total yards. Tennessee had 650, and it could have been much worse. I mean, we had Heath Schuler's son in there, the fourth string quarterback, taking snaps. And I know Jim Moore was mad at Josh Heupel for some reason during this game. And I mean, Josh Heupel did everything he could to not run this score up more. If Tennessee wanted to score 100 points, they could have. But Josh Heupel kept it very classy, didn't run the score up. Passing yards, UConn had 221. Tennessee had 375. Kind of going back to more on Joe Milton. He was precise. He was on target. And one thing that I've really complained about Joe Milton in the past is the fact that, you know, a lot of those Hendon Hooker throws where Hendon would hit somebody in stride. Joe Milton has really struggled to do that. You're seeing more of Joe Milton hitting people on the run and getting a lot more yards per, catch, yards after catch. So he is really doing better with that and his accuracy. Rushing yards, UConn just had 35 rushing yards. They couldn't do anything on our front seven. Tennessee, again, had 200. They had 275 yards rushing. Tennessee, coming into the game, was averaging over 220 yards rushing, so we didn't hurt ourselves in that. So continue to do a really good job. Yards per play, Connecticut had 3.7 yards per play. Tennessee had 10 yards per play. That's extremely good. First downs, Connecticut had 17. Tennessee had 26. Third down efficiency, Connecticut was 5 for 17. Tennessee was 8 for 12. Tennessee's doing much better on third down efficiency. Earlier in the year, we really struggled a lot of times on our third down conversions, especially in the Florida game. But we're doing a lot better. Like I said before, I think a lot of this stuff is letting Joe Milton run the ball. That's opening up another avenue for us to get first downs. And it's really hard to defend. That QB run, QB option, where he can pitch it to the tailback is really helping our offense out a lot. Fourth down efficiency, UConn was 0 for 2. Tennessee was 1 for 1. And that's another thing. The defense too, with the third down efficiency and the fourth down efficiency, Tennessee's defense is doing a much better job getting the opposing offense off the field, doing a much better job. Total plays in this game, UConn had 70, Tennessee was 65. That's a little bit skewed. Tennessee had 2 or 3 touchdowns on the defensive side, so it kept giving the ball back to the opposing team. And then on top of that, Tennessee's third and fourth string defense was playing as well. So that was not on our first team unit. That was on the backups. Punts, UConn had 6 punts. Tennessee had 2. The first string unit really only had 1 punt during the day. It was early in the first quarter. Outside that, Tennessee's offense really never punted. Penalties, UConn had 6 penalties for 28 yards. Tennessee had 11 penalties for 90 yards. And we're really struggling as a team. The penalties. Well, I don't know. We're very undisciplined still with the penalties. Where we were north of our average again. Well, I think we came into this game like averaging 68 yards in penalties, and we had 90, so it's going to even hurt us even more. I don't know what it is. I know on that one play in the first quarter, Lott threw the guy's helmet off. Just a lot of undisciplined, stupid football that we've got to clean up. Turnovers. Tennessee coming in this game was +2 on the year. The only thing we did was help ourselves more on that. We had 0 turnovers on the day, and UConn had 3 turnovers. So Tennessee did a really good job creating turnovers and limiting turnovers as well. So. And now that gets me to the time of possession. UConn had the ball 38 minutes and 24 seconds. Tennessee had the ball 21 minutes and 36 seconds. So good win, 59-3. There's really nothing to complain about, honestly. I thought Tennessee played really well. Got a lot of people playing time that have not played all year long. Just trying to think of maybe some things that we could do better on. Obviously, is penalties. Got to do a better job with penalties. Got to be more disciplined, especially with Missouri coming up next week. And the only other thing concerning to me is getting to the passer. This is like the second or third game in a row where Tennessee's not had a sack. I'm pretty sure we didn't have a sack today. Really struggling to get to the quarterback. I think a lot of that has to do with teams scheming around that, bringing tight end to James Pierce Jr.'s side, or a running back chipping, and on top of that, just having quicker passes. They're not taking a lot of time passing the football. So, but outside that, Tennessee is playing the best football it has all season. Tennessee has the capabilities of winning the remaining schedule out. I mean, we have 3 games left. They are fully capable of winning out. Now, will they? I don't know. Missouri, saw Missouri play Georgia yesterday. Missouri is a very good team. They had Georgia on the ropes in the second half. Kind of, sort of. I mean, they had Georgia, reeling a little bit, and Georgia ended up winning by 9 points. And then Georgia, in a couple weeks, we got them coming to Neyland. Georgia's the best team in the country, in my opinion, bar none. But they do have to come to Neyland, and I do think we got a punch or shot at beating them. So anyway, we do need a little help as far as getting to the SEC championship game. We got to have Ole Miss somehow go into Athens next week and beat Georgia. That's a tall order. I just don't think that Ole Miss's defense is going to be able to slow Georgia down at all. Ole Miss has a good offense, but their defense is Swiss cheese. So it doesn't look good for us getting back to Atlanta. Even if Ole Miss did beat Georgia, we would have to beat Georgia in Neyland. So it looks like Georgia will go back to the SEC championship game, but we still have a chance until next week anyway, statistically. But anyway, Tennessee's playing the best game, playing the best football in this part of the year. It's good to see. We're not getting worse; we're getting better. Joe Milton's playing the best football he's played. Now we got Missouri on deck next. We're both 7-2. Got to go to Columbia. And I don't think they've released the game time for that game. I think it'll probably be a 3:30 game. But it should be a 50-50 game in my opinion. I think we're pretty even teams, honestly. Tennessee will definitely have to bring their A game. But I'll come back in the next couple of days to break that game down and give you the preview. But anyway, great game for the Vols. Again, Tennessee won 59-3 over a UConn team that has struggled this year, but they have been competitive. So anyway, great game from the Vols, and I'll come back here in the next couple of days and break down the Missouri game. But anyway, have a great rest of the day and go Vols.